hoping I have enough room on the card and enough battery power. I think I've been keeping track of what's going on the camera. I haven't done a video in a while. Pardon me for wiggling around, I'm a little sore. In this episode of The Circle, what I'd like to talk about is a possible problem that may exist. I'm not going to say a problem exists and thereby create the reality of the problem. But there's a possibility that there are people out there who look at these videos, look at my posts, especially friends and family, many of whom are Christian, and they're wondering, who the heck is this guy? Who does he think he is to teach? They have this, I know one person specifically, although they might have been, as they said, how did they put it? I don't remember the word, but they were in essence testing me. Jerking my chain would be one way to put it, but that's not what they said. Busting my blank. They said they were busting my blank. I won't say the rest of that. I try to keep things fairly clean in these videos, but they were saying, what right have I to think that I could teach anybody anything? I read a few books, and what kind of, right does that give me to teach anything? And I wanted to answer address this kind of issue. Basically, here's where it is. I presume to have no right whatsoever to teach, instruct, be a master, guru, whatever. I don't claim any right. And I don't want to be your teacher, master, instructor, or guru. I remember I was looking into one of these places where you could go, and it was like a yoga or yogi or something place, and they wanted you to go through this whole process of basically committing yourself to the master. And it was, when I read the details of it, this is Cali, if you can see the top of her head here. She decided to come over to visit. I usually don't have her up here. But you had to do all this stuff to commit to this teacher. And I just thought that was wrong. And I've noticed, and I don't know why it is this way, but I've noticed that many of the teachers that I appreciate or admire even they just seem to have an attitude. They're too busy to talk to me. I once sent a letter, just a handwritten letter, not an email, because that's what he preferred in contact, to Mr. Dean Koontz, who is a published author of horror books back when I was looking into that kind of thing, because I used to write little short horror stories. That was something that I did. I was into that sort of thing, and that was just part of who I was back then, and not anymore. But I sent him a letter, and he replied back, and he actually gave me advice. He was helpful, he was friendly. I was impressed. And I guess I got it into my head that maybe they're all like that. They're not these people that are too caught up in their own affairs to pay any attention to the little old people who come and talk to them and buy their books, So I remember not long after that, maybe long after that, maybe a year or two, I was starting on my spiritual journey, and I contacted Mr. Robert Moss. And I was asking some questions like, I'm too busy to deal with you or talk to you about that right now. That was basically what he said. So I stuck to him, and I didn't email him again. Recently, I signed up at the forums of Josephine McCarthy, her Magical Knowledge forums, and I thought she was pretty cool. She's a little sharp-tongued and has a definite attitude and viewpoint about things that is her own. But they kicked me out of the forums, and they didn't tell me why. They just felt that they told me, all they said was that she and her moderators had discussed it, and they felt that it wasn't the right fit for me. I don't understand that. But what I'm basically saying is, you watch a person like Mr. Wayne Dyer talking, or you watch a person like Louise Hay talking, and you think that this is a friendly, accessible, wonderful person that you would like to meet. And my experience so far with most spiritual teachers is that that's not really the case. Now, I've never met Mr. Wayne Dyer. I haven't tried to contact him. I don't think there's any way to. I think I looked into it once, and he doesn't have any public contact information that I could find. I mean, they have to protect themselves. They have to be able to write. They got to protect themselves from lawsuits because they live in a very legalistic society now, unfortunately. Um, but I don't want to be that way myself. Like I said, I'm not claiming that I am a teacher or anything. I am just sharing things that seem to me to be true. I'm sharing my experiences, and I call them teachings, but I'm not calling myself a teacher. And I'm not claiming any particular classroom or student or group of students, and I'm not asking for any kind of loyalty or devotion or commitment or anything like that. And I'd never want to see a Gospel of Mark way, in some holy book, 100 years from now. I want nothing to do with that. I don't want anything to do with having any part of anybody's religion or anything like that. My whole thing is to free you from all of that stuff. And I just wanted to be clear about that. I'm not seeking any kind of accolades, and if I ever do get published, I hope that I remain an approachable, accessible person who's friendly and fun to talk to and will actually help people. I know that it might be hard because if you get to be really popular, you're going to be receiving thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of letters and emails and stuff a day, and how do you go through it all? I don't know. I still remember that one with Jim Carrey where God gave him his powers for a while, and he was sitting there trying to figure out how to answer all the prayers. I have this picture in mind that this computer program that's supposed to answer all this and just give everybody a yes. But no, I don't know how I'd pull that off. Best I could do is try to make myself more publicly available and try to do things that are free events. All people have to do is figure out how to get there. But I don't have any plans for any of that right now. I'm not really planning on pursuing teaching or anything as some kind of a lifestyle choice or career. And getting published, I don't know that I want to be an author. I might have put a book or two out, but I don't think I want to make publishing and being an author a career either. I just want to try to share and spread information around, things that I have learned, and I want to share those things with other people. And if it helps somebody, great. And if it doesn't, I'm not putting any thought into that reality. I'm just trying to help. And the whole thing here is I can teach you, but you won't learn anything unless you want to learn it. You have to be willing to be taught. And more than that, I can give you the information you need to change. You have to be willing to make the change. I have nothing to do with that. All I can do is give you the information, and what you do with it is your choice. And I claim no right or special ability or talent based on anything. And admittedly, I have just read a few books, although that's kind of making it sound like I've read less than I have. I've probably read a lot more than a few. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have. But it's not just that. All the experiences and things I've gone through and all the life experience counts for a lot, I'll just put it that way. And I think that it's given me enough that maybe I can't claim any rights, but I can claim maybe a little bit of authority. But then again, all experiences, they're going to be a little bit subjective. There's perceptions and beliefs and subjectivity there. So my hope is that if there's any truth in anything that I say, that's what sticks with those who wish to receive, those that are open and accepting of that truth. That's it. If there's anything I'm trying to do, you can think of me as somebody running around throwing out seeds. And where the seeds land and whether or not they do anything is not my business. I just throw out the seeds. And I just feel driven and compelled to do that, so that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully I won't offend anybody in the process. I'm trying very hard to talk with love and to reply and respond with love. And I don't know what else I can do about it, but I hope this clarifies some things so that you guys understand a little more about, how I perceive myself, what my goal is here, what my intention is here. My motives are pure and my intentions are pure. I just want to help you. And if you don't want to be helped, that's perfectly okay. I love and accept you as you are. And if you are helped, that's good, and I hope that you pass that help along to others. I would like to see more spiritual teachings freely given to everybody and shared to everybody. I'd like to see more spiritual teachers that are freely accessible to everybody without any kind of strange commitments or things like that. I'd like to see gurus walking out among us and teaching us, not requiring our commitments, not requiring anything from us other than just to be receptive to them and listen to them and hear what they have to say. That's what I would like to see. I hope I get to see that world, before I leave this one. Anyway, call that good for now. Namaste.